back, everybody. So finally, we've had time to go ahead and get started with another podcast on the Chit Chat with, of course, my co-host and executive producer for now is Yvonne. And we're going to go ahead and start off episode 9 of the Chit Chat with as the fall of streaming services. Now, like I said, with me is my co-host / executive producer for now, Yvonne. And Yvonne, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be back. Even though my contract will not be renewing for the following season.
You won't be renewing your contract with me? Well,
no, negotiations were not made. And I will be doing why I left the Chit Chat.
Could it be that perhaps you weren't contributing enough to the Chit Chat with?
As executive producer,
that had done nothing.
I have brought this. Okay. Let's get to the topic at hand.
Okay, so the meaty-greedy of today's topic is going to be the fall of streaming services. Now, if you guys remember from season 2 of the Chit Chat with, we actually did the rise of streaming services, which was actually 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Wow, how time flies. Mm-hmm. Basically, where we were discussing all the new streaming services and their apps and everything that was rising. Mm-hmm. And, because of COVID and everything, people were joining these services and flocking over, canceling cable, cord cutting, etc. And now that has come back to bite consumers in the butt. With that, Yvonne, let's go ahead and get started with that first question that you have for everybody.
Yes. How many more streaming services are there? Because I thought it was going to stop at Paramount Plus, but apparently they have added so many more streaming services. It's getting ridiculous.
Okay. So I can definitely let you know the ones that I have on my app right now, which is going to be, and go ahead and do the count.
Okay.
It's going to be Hulu, that's one.
Uh-huh.
YouTube, that's another one. Disney Plus, Prime Video, Peacock, Paramount, Max, Netflix.
Wow, that's 8. And then in Halloween, during October month, I know you get Shudder.
Oh, yeah, I like Shudder.
AMC is one that I didn't know existed. Which one else? Sling TV has been around for a while.
Because I left out Vudu and Roku.
Yeah.
But, do you count those as
I would count Roku. And the reason being is because they actually have seasons from a lot of TV shows. I think they have 1 or 2 seasons, not the complete TV series, but a couple of seasons.
Oh, and apparently, what happened to Facebook Watch? They stopped that?
I guess so, because I didn't know that existed.
They had at one point uploaded the entire Angel and Buffy the Vampire series.
Yeah, I think they might still have it. I don't know. I haven't looked around. But yeah, it's getting ridiculous. And I'm where is the content? Who's paying for all of these streaming services?
Oh, look, I'm going to let you know in advance that some of these services I'm not paying for out of pocket. Because, oh, my bad, wrong button. That's exactly what it's going to cost you. You're paying for all these services.
And earlier this year, I know Netflix did the whole stop sharing, the sharing accounts.
Yeah, they went and cracked down on people who were sharing. Okay, to be fair, though, there was some people that were literally sharing with 10 plus family members. That's kind of ridiculous right there.
Okay, so where's your limit?
Okay, as far as streaming, here's the thing. It's just that if there's a will, there's a way. People will always try to find any way to scam the system. And if they're paying customers, I don't see why they shouldn't. But then at the same time, it's it gets out of hand because those people share the password with other people who share the password with other people who share the password with other people. And basically it keeps going. Yeah. And at one point you don't even know who you're sharing passwords with until you clock or lock everybody out of the account by resetting your password.
Yeah. Apparently there were stories on TikTok. People were saying, "Oh, I forgot about my passwords." About having this account open, and turns out that a couple had broken up and the guy was still using the Netflix account.
I heard about that one, but
yeah,
it was the
girl. That's ridiculous. How?
People do it. If like I said, where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, there's nothing wrong with sharing.
No,
I don't think companies should be the ones that should set a limit.
Yeah.
I think that should be the consumer.
Yes.
I think what they need to start doing as far as limiting is that I think on Netflix had already started, and I think the way they had it done was good as far as like, oh, you're only paying for 2 simultaneous streaming account at the same time. So then I think that's good enough, because if you're only sharing it with 2 people and you're paying what is allowed to, then I don't see a problem with you giving that to anybody else.
And this is so people sharing accounts is the result of them increasing prices, because it has gotten out of hand. Like they have been raising.
Nah, that's bull. That's bullcorn. They're using that as to say that because of the whatever.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That it has gotten out of hand. That they have been raising prices.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like because of the people.
No. It's because they're raising prices that people are now sharing.
Yeah, that they started to share
more.
Because remember when Netflix first started, and I first signed up for Netflix. I signed up for Netflix in 2011.
It was $7.99.
It was $7.99. I used to get the DVD, and I actually had signed up for the DVD original, and then I found out, this is how old we are. And then I found out that they started doing the streaming on it. But the only time I ever did the streaming was on my Xbox 360, when I would get together with like my cousin, and Xbox was ahead of its time, because they used to have a little theater that you can join up with people who had Netflix accounts, and you can stream the same movie at the same time. You would have a party leader, and they would be the one who would pause, rewind, or set up the movie. And your little avatar would sit in the little theater, and you could be chatting and whatnot. Like, that was so fun. Because what I used to do is I used to put it when I was doing homework or whatever, and that would kill time. I watch a movie, hang out, etc. Virtual hangout. But anyways, they took off that feature. I feel like that's a really... Xbox, if you're listening, or chatbot, whatever, bring it back. That was great. I will totally buy an Xbox again for that. But anyways, so that basically...
So what would be your, I guess, stopping point in purchasing the streaming service? Because as they keep raising prices, like, where is your budget point?
Look, at this point, I'm not the one that pays for Netflix.
I pay for Netflix.
Thank you, Mom.
You broke ass.
And to be fair, it's because Mom uses Netflix. Yeah, I don't even think we use it. We hardly use it.
I don't use it at all. Like, sometimes I do, like if I'm cleaning my room, and that's it. But other than that, I don't.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, Netflix will be really popular if they hit more of the Hispanic community, because those are their loyal fans, right?
You know what? Okay, I'm so guilty of this. So my sister has Hulu. So I think I use Hulu the most. And I think recently they, I don't know if she logged me out because I can't get access to my tablet.
You can't get access to your tablet?
Like, the streaming service is on the tablet, and since I don't remember the password.
I still have access to the, but I don't use Hulu that much.
Yeah, well, Hulu is now my number one, and that's just to rewatch old TV shows.
Yeah, like Malcolm in the Middle is the one we've recently been watching.
So,
like, all the old Fox TV shows are on there. So, I mean, honestly, I think that's the thing. I think where they're going wrong, and we'll go ahead and narrow that down to Netflix because it's the main one, the most popular one. Well, it was. Now it's...
Well, because... No, so... Netflix is the trendsetter for streaming services. For example, they're the ones that started the top 10 lists. They're the ones that they first started doing that. And now Hulu has it, Paramount has it, HBO has it.
You know who's the best copycat? Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime. Oh,
and they
my
don't
God.
even care. They don't even... That's what I'm talking about. Because,
Yeah.
you know, when you got that kind of money of Jeffrey Bezos, then you know what? Come on, Jeff, do back into it. I wonder if he puts that as his, like, walking
I
in
think
song.
so.
I
would copyright that song.
Yeah, I would too. I'd be like, yeah, come on, Amazon. Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah, but it's getting ridiculously, the cost is getting too high. I think for me, I would say, because surprisingly, I use YouTube the most. And that's because I'm the type of person that likes to watch a variety of videos, like,
And YouTube,
Yeah.
actually, YouTube still has a stronghold. I don't know what people say.
yeah, even if it's with ads, I will watch the ads,
Which
but I will
actually-
not pay for YouTube.
No, which actually I know a lot of people that pay for YouTube Premium. So that
I'm
should
not
tell
gonna
you,
pay for YouTube Premium.
I had
or
it
anything.
for free when I bought. What did I bought? I bought something from Best Buy, so they gave me 3 months for free. And it's useful if you're like on the Roku, like if you're using it through another anything. If you're using it on any other device that's not a computer that you can use an ad blocker. Then yeah, it's very useful because ads are annoying. Period.
Yeah.
But it's not like a turn off if the ad.
No, I don't really
You have
ca-
the ads.
YouTube, for me, when I watch YouTube videos, I don't really mind the ads. So
Yeah.
because it's not like you're watching a TV show where like you really want to fast forward or like, you're just watching the video. So for me, it's not. I think YouTube is the best streaming service that you can access for free, and hopefully that will not change. But that's the number one. And I wouldn't pay for any other streaming services. They're just not worth it because is there even enough content? I've been looking at Netflix and Paramount, and I've been comparing some of the shows that they offer, and some of them Netflix is borrowing from them. Like they have shows from Paramount on Netflix and HBO on Netflix.
Well, to be fair, okay, so that whole situation with the content, that's another issue that's always plagued Netflix because that started. So, for example, when Friends went on HBO Max, it used to be on, what was it, Netflix. And then same with The Office. It used to be in Parks and Recs. All NBC shows used to be on Netflix. So what they started doing is they're like, oh, these are really rewatched on Netflix. They kind of knew, but the data wasn't made public.
Yeah.
But now it is, but because of the writer strike and stuff. But before that, nobody knew. But you could kind of tell because Netflix, I feel like Netflix shot themselves in the foot by doing the top 10 lists. Because that gave these companies, like, for example, NBC, when they saw that on that top 10 list, The Office and Parks and Rec were consistently 1 and 2 or in the top 10 regardless, that weren't Netflix originals. And I think that's where that bargaining, where they got greedy and they're like, hey, we're going to charge you streaming rights for the next 5 years to be double of what we originally charged you. Where Netflix was like, I might as well put that money down and make my own TV shows.
Yeah. But even the TV shows that they make, they're not that good. Like, and they have canceled so many TV shows that are good.
And I don't know, that's a problem with Netflix because they have the people, like the people that really watch Netflix, they are very loyal to their TV shows that they watch. But the fact that they binge watch them, I think part of that is why Amazon was smart to say we're doing it on a weekly basis instead of putting it all out there at once, so that they're guaranteed to swindle you out of 2 months of their streaming service. Versus Netflix is like you can literally watch it in a weekend and then cancel it if you don't want it.
But Amazon Prime tried doing that and it didn't work because
no, they still do it.
People were they
still do it.
Yeah. Well, apparently, like
but you know why they do it? Because they're not really charging for Amazon Prime. Like you don't go. People aren't saying, I'm gonna buy Amazon Prime by itself. No, they're including it with your Prime membership, and that's BS. Because what they did with that is basically they're subsidizing the video portion by increasing the original Amazon Prime membership. That's why they started increasing it. Because remember, Amazon Prime when it first started, it was like $35 a month, and you had guaranteed same day or 2 day guaranteed. And as they started getting bigger and bigger and bigger with every company, they started cutting costs. Now they hardly even guarantee 2 day shipping. Mind you, the reason you pay for Prime membership is so that you're not with the rest of the plebs and you're not getting it within a week or your package isn't getting lost. So I'm like, if I were Amazon, you need to go back to that type of service, because what they're doing now with that money is they're basically subsidizing all their other sub companies that are there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I'm like, no, I con Prime, I don't really consider them like an actual video app. They do have shows that I really like from them. Like they're like few.
Well, I tried like browsing to get like movies because I also borrow Prime.
Moocher. We got a moocher over
yes,
here.
I'm the biggest moocher, and I don't care. Why can't someone else pay for it? Well, anyways, I started browsing. They don't have anything. I think the only show that I watched, that I have ever watched, is that TV show, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And after that ended, like, I haven't been to the Amazon Prime
I can't believe that we were in New York the week that they were promoting that show.
I know.
We saw their little cab pass by. But no, yeah. So they have a couple of shows that they have. And I think what Amazon Prime is doing is they're trying to partnership with other smaller content creators like MGM Plus. That's another streaming service that's coming on.
Yeah.
But in order to bypass that, if you only want to watch a TV show, which I highly recommend everybody watch, From, From. It's a scary TV show. It's recommended by Stephen King. And it's actually a really good show. The third season is going to come out in April. I'm going to go ahead and put a commercial break to promote From TV show. But anyways, they're starting to do where MGM Plus is going to be granting them exclusive content for time, like a timed, for a brief time, and then they're gonna release it to the MGM Plus app, or if you want it before, you get it through the MGM Plus app. Same with Paramount, where Paramount has exclusivity to Starz content, but you have to add another $5 add-on to the already $11.99 Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
so they're starting to do
Starz.
And that's what's pissing me off. They're starting to do it, and I knew this was gonna. That's why my thesis. Everybody remembers from season 2.
Enough with your thesis.
Because it goes back to I was right. Basically, in my thesis, I had said YouTube is still gonna be the reigning champ, regardless, because YouTube is targeted to everybody. And the reason it's so popular is because, like you said, YouTube, you don't mind the commercials because sometimes for YouTube, you're looking at vlogs are very popular in YouTube. You're looking at like maybe ASMR at some point.
See, this is what I look at the videos. So vlogs, DIY, closet organization, camping. Camping has been this year. Camping for me has been one of the most watched videos.
It tells you
on
your
my
watch
list.
hours, yeah.
What else? Japanese candy.
And that's what I'm saying. So YouTube is like, it doesn't have it. YouTube is great because if you have a niche, you can reach that audience. That's why YouTube is really good. Whereas these other streaming services, they're big corporations that are spending millions of dollars on the content that they're providing. So that's why it's a lot less content. Whereas YouTube is literally anything and everything that's out there is going to be there. Especially how-to videos. How-to videos are the number one search thing on YouTube. And that's why I told people during my thesis that YouTube was going to be the reigning channel. I also said Amazon Prime was going to be Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime were going to be the main contenders. Now, the one I didn't know about was Disney Plus. Disney Plus bypassed, I think, Hulu and Amazon Prime, and is in competition with Netflix as far as like subscription, high
But
subscription.
like, what's there available in Disney Plus?
I know why Disney Plus is very. It's because it's for kids.
Oh.
So anybody who has a child automatically has
sense.
a Disney Plus subscription, regardless. And I'm like that. So, but basically what they also did with Disney Plus is they got with Hulu. So that's another add-on if you want ESPN and Hulu.
Discovery Plus.
And I knew this was going to happen when the entire DLC stuff started happening with video games back in 2011. Because what ended up happening, and a lot of people fought against it, and unfortunately we lost, was that one of the complaints for video games, which is also becoming a streaming service itself, is that they were saying, why are we having to pay $10, $15, $20, $25 more for a game that we already paid $50 for, which is now $60. They cost $60 now, but you're basically selling us an incomplete product. And at one point, what these companies were doing is they were purposely locking some of the content that was already on the disc. And this is because some people were like very upset that they actually delve into the disc to see what was on it, and they found that content was basically on there, and it was just locked until you gave them more money to unlock it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a big scandal for, I forgot which game it was, but it pissed off a lot of people. And I was like, ever since then, I never really bought any DLC content. I think the only one I bought was for Mass Effect, and that's it. But anyways, that's the video games. But basically, we knew, ever since that happened, we knew that DLC was going to be the new trend for anything. And it also started with streaming services in the music industry, like Spotify, Apple Music. Like, the reason Spotify got real popular is because there was really no other competition with it at the time until Apple started. And that's
until Pandora.
Yeah, and I think that's why. Well, not even Pandora, because Pandora, you can't choose your music.
Yeah, you can.
Not even with the streaming, no. Not even with the Deste.
Oh,
it's radio stations. That's the difference.
Yeah, the other day I was listening to my Pandora, and Nidia my sister got, she was like, what is this music? I don't like it. I'm like, well, too bad, because your GPS doesn't work.
Yeah, so Yvonne usually mooches off of my Spotify. And
no,
my GPS,
I don't. She won't let me
and my
mooch.
GPS. Thank God Spotify is only one. You know, they were giving me a promotion.
No excuse. Hey, can I borrow your Spotify?
Get
no, it's
outta
only
here.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Mom mooches off of my Spotify too. I gotta block that from the kitchen speaker.
So, with the fall of streaming services, are movies going back to the big screen?
Okay, so what we had happened this summer with Barbenheimer, which was Oppenheimer, the movie with Christopher
Oppenheimer
Nolan.
should have... Wait, can I just add that Oppenheimer would have been a great Christmas movie?
You know, they should have released it in Christmas.
They're so stupid,
I think
because
I would
we
have
have
gone.
nothing to watch right now.
Yeah, we literally don't.
We
I don't think
have
anything came out.
literally nothing.
Aquaman 2.
Nobody's gonna watch that. Like, are they? Like, I know who's gonna watch the tweens and teens, and that's
The
it.
only one. Aquaman 2.
Yeah, but nobody cares about that, especially that woman.
Shut up. Y'all leave her alone.
No, y'all leave her alone. She
Pobrecita.
didn't serve okay.
Basically, she did to herself.
But leave her alone. Leave her alone.
But if you want more of that, catch our
previous
podcast on the Chit Chat with the Child, Johnny Depp.
But well, anyways, it's Oppenheimer should have been a Christmas movie, and what else? What was I saying? Oh yeah. So are movies going back to the big screen, like big picture movies?
I think movies took a big punch to the face, basically, with that whole COVID situation, and the streaming services. Because what ended up happening with Disney, and I'm glad Scarlett Johansson sued Disney, because she had every right to sue them.
I'm glad.
Because what happened with that whole Disney, that it makes it difficult to want to go to the movies, because on top of having to go to movies, one thing about like COVID that we learned is, like, personally speaking from my part, I don't really like people that much. So if I don't have to be in a crowded spot, I won't. And like in the movie theaters, what I've noticed now, I actually might want to go more now, because they're empty. Even when there's big releases, I haven't seen any people go.
Well, because everybody goes the day of, or like the weekend of, and then after that, like,
it just drains. And you know why? Because those movies get put on streaming services within the next month.
Within 2 months. I would say within 1 or 2 months. Like, I'm right now, perfect example. The Marvels came out, I think it was in October or November.
I wanted to go see it, but I just
never had the time. So,
and then when I had the time, I just was
and
lazy.
then I was like, we'll wait until Disney Plus does something,
because it was about to put it anyway.
Yeah.
They're about to put it anyway.
Yeah,
January 1st, or watch it be New Year's Eve.
Probably, yeah.
I can see them doing, because they need to put stuff.
But yeah, I think the movie industry is not doing so well, and I think there has to be enough content, enough movies to support the movie industry.
And that's the thing. And then here's the other thing.
And this is this is the other indicator that is telling me that it's not doing well, because they have been re-showing like popular movies. Like, for example, they had Lord of the Rings in July.
The extended editions.
Yes. They had Harry Potter during the November month.
Well, no, okay, I can tell you why that happened. Because of the whole writer's strike. So the other thing that has now hit the streaming services, the reality of streaming services, is that, so these corporations got greedy. So they started raising the price up for streaming services. So not only were they screwing over their customers to get a good profit, but they were also screwing over their writers and their actors and their PAs, etc. All the people that were working in the industry, they were screwing them over because they weren't giving any residuals. So residuals, for the people that don't know, basically it's just money that for every time that TV show or movie gets streamed, they get a little kickback thrown their way. Because residuals in television are still a thing. So like anytime you see a Friends rerun on TV, anytime you see a Parks and Rec or The Office rerun, those writers, aka Mindy Kaling, they still get money from every time those episodes air. Now, how much depends on, like, I guess the viewership data and stuff, but probably a good like $50 or something, and that adds up, you know, in the long term. Whereas once Netflix, for example, or any of the other streaming services, these writers don't know that data, so they can't say, hey, you owe me this much. They only get paid for that one contract job, and that's it. And then they have to keep pumping out more and more and more. And you know what? It shows in the quality of content how it dropped. Because if you're overworking these writers are regurgitating the same thing in other shows, and they're just switching it different, copy and paste. Because they're trying to make
GPT.
Because they're trying, and because they're trying to get, well, actually, no. Streaming services thought ChatGPT could do the writing for them. And they only to find out that ChatGPT literally just copy and paste whatever's already written. So that's a whole nother thing. I wrote about it in my quarantini, but about the writer's strike. And now the writer's strike has ended, and so has the actor's strike. Which is great.
So I guess we should see how the movie industry or like the film industry is going to be doing.
And we knew it was going to get hard hit this year because of the writer's strike. All the movies got, like, Aquaman was supposed to come out during the summer.
Yeah.
And it got pushed back. Well, actually, no. Aquaman was supposed to come back like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But then the entire Johnny Depp stuff happened and Amber Heard. And then they pushed it back to do reshoots and cuts, etc. And then the writer's strike happened, so they had to. That movie was cursed, and it's funny because it was the last movie of the DCEU universe,
which wasn't even that good. But that's another debate.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay. At this point, this leaves us with our next and our last key point.
And now for our commercial break. In a nightmarish town in Middle America that traps those who enter, unwilling residents strive to stay alive and search for a way out. Plagued by terrifying nocturnal creatures from the surrounding forests and secrets hidden in the town, From is a horror/science fiction TV show that I highly recommend for any horror or science fiction buffs. You can get it or watch it on MGM Plus or Amazon Prime or any of the other streaming services that support MGM Plus. I highly recommend you watch it before the new season, sometime premiering, hopefully sometime in April 2024 or somewhere around that timeline, and definitely check it out. Now back to the show.
At this point, is cable worth it? Like, what cable packages are available for the people?
Look, I'm gonna tell you, we've been with Xfinity for a while, so, and then partly it was because at one point we were like they had a stronghold on the market. They were the only, and that's crazy that they were the only one available. AT&T wasn't in the area. Now we have AT&T and Verizon Fios, and then Spectrum, and then Xfinity. So I'm like, I'm really tempted to switch you on.
Yeah,
but
me too.
The prices are around the same, with the exception that is cable worth it? And they're making me want to go back to cable, because what happens with the cable packages is basically it's cheaper to have cable and internet than what we're paying for internet right now.
And then my question to you is, like, what does cable offer? Like, are they offering streaming services as cable, or are they offering like the MTV, the WeTV channels, the Lifetime channels?
Well, okay, so here's the thing with that. So all these TV shows, all these cable channels that are there, on cable TV, they have their own little app that has their own little exclusive content, which is not really exclusive. It's really literally what they have on the channel.
Yeah.
But they have all their seasons because it's their app. So what they do is they literally, if you have, like, for example, an Xfinity account or an AT&T account, you can use that login to get into all those channels' apps for free. But it's not really free because you're already paying for it through the cable. So, but it's giving you access to all their limited content that's not on other. Because if you notice it, for example, MTV has a contract with Paramount Plus, and they have some of the seasons of Jersey Shore, minus the newest one, which is season 6, I think, Family Vacation. So. And then they have a bunch of commercials on there too, though. Whereas if you go through the MTV
not
one,
with ad block.
Oh, yeah, not with ad blocker. Which, you know what, YouTube, this past summer, let this be a lesson to you people, you companies. Where there's a will, there's a way. So YouTube tried to do ad blocker, block the ad blocker. So a lot of people were like, you're not going to block my ad blocker. So all these ad blockers updated their ad blocker to block the ad blocker that was blocking the ad blocker.
Exactly.
So I'm like, and then because YouTube was like, you got 3 attempts, and they're like, we're gonna lock you out of YouTube. And I'm like, all right, bet, go. And we're just gonna get another ad blocker that can do a proper job.
I have 2 Gmail accounts. Go for it.
No, but I'm talking about ad blockers.
No, I know, but it's
they're also gonna start deleting on.
Oh yeah, they
Gmail
already
accounts.
started. Deleting.
I think they already did.
I use both my Gmail, so I have no issue with
It's always good to have multiple accounts because you never want to have one for everything. That's how people get hacked. But basically, so going back to what I was saying, so cable might be worth it to go back to if you can bundle it and it cuts your costs. For example, through our cable provider or internet provider, which is also technically cable, we get Peacock for free. Peacock with ads, though. Nothing's ever free. Exactly. And here's the thing, though. They won't let us upgrade to the ad-free one, which is an add-on of $5.99.
Which defeats the entire purpose of getting cable. So no, cable is not worth it if you're only gonna watch. It is worth it if you're gonna watch Lifetime.
No.
WeTV,
there's a demographic that cable is still worth it for, which is if you're a boomer. Yeah, if you're a boomer, which I know a lot of boomers that
a lot of boomers are not gonna listen to this podcast, but.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But you're saying
no,
it's
I
cable
know,
worth it. So I'm like, I can see a lot of boomers. Or millennials that have boomer parents that are going to give them just get the cable package. It's just easier for you because you don't want old people in technology. I'm not trying to be ageism.
They panic. No, I will be ageism.
They panic. No, they really do panic. Like they freak out.
With technology, yes.
Even Gen X. No, I've noticed that even Gen X freaks out.
Yeah.
With any little mishap or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you literally just have to refresh the page and that's it.
And Gen Z
is not. I was surprised that they're not tech savvy.
Yeah, because they YouTube everything.
No, but I'm not saying like that. I'm saying like they're tech savvy if it's like a phone or a iPad. Yeah. But if it's like anything on a computer, forget it. I was very shocked. Like they didn't know how to connect a printer. They didn't know how to do like the basic stuff that we grew up with. Experience. Yeah,
like I know what you're talking about.
I was surprised. I was very surprised. Like I was like, because I've seen these little kids, even the Gen Alpha, whatever they call them, the little kids. Like our niece and nephew, they are really good with their little iPad and the phone. They already know how to navigate and everything. I'm like. It struggled a little bit when we first got touch screen.
Oh, you're not.
I had a flip phone, people. I had a Nokia flip phone. And I miss, you know what? To this day, I miss my flip phone.
It was durable. And that's one of the reasons why I want to get my Razr, like the flip Razr with the touch screen, just so I can answer my phone.
And then hang up by flipping it. When you hang up.
Well, this is the end of our podcast.
Okay, so final thoughts, Yvonne. What do you think about streaming services in the fall streaming services?
I think if they don't create more content, they're gonna continue. They're gonna continue to increase prices, and people are gonna continue to even more share accounts. Because they're not providing anything new. And if they go this route, then people are going to be turning to cable. And cable, if you're smart, Xfinity, AT&T, or whatever, you're going to be able to bundle up a couple of services and provide those quarterly reports to your shareholders. So
Exactly.
so that's what I'm predicting. If they continue to create more streaming services, then it's gonna get ridiculous, and it's gonna be, and people are gonna be turning to YouTube, which I'm already turning to YouTube.
And actually, I don't think people ever left YouTube. I think they just kind of lowered YouTube.
Yeah, they lowered
but
the
then they went
viewership,
back right
but
back
then
up.
they're going back to YouTube.
And you know why? I think it's also because at work, it's easier to have a YouTube video
Yeah.
open, and
Like,
people won't like say.
I
or do
literally
anything.
stream. So when I was working from home 24/7 during the COVID era, I put the news on the background, and that has always, like, that's how I work now. So during the office, I need noise because our office is really quiet. So I need something,
Some kind of background noise.
So I
It's because we come from a Hispanic household. We're used to it being loud.
So I stream my news via YouTube. Like, that's how I'm able to do it. So I don't know. That's what I'm predicting. The movie industry is not gonna get better unless you have a year that is a year where a lot of movies are going to be good movies.
I think next we're gonna see the movie industry, and like as far as the fall streaming services, I think within the next, my prediction from my thesis, and this is another thesis that I'll be making, is that you're gonna start seeing and you're already seeing it right now. You're gonna start seeing these streaming services merge. So right now, the current one that's merging, that had already merged, was HBO Max turned into Max, and it merged with Discovery Network. And actually, Discovery Network merged with CNN Plus because nobody was watching CNN Plus. I mean, who thought a good idea was to have a news app by itself? Like, come on. Anyways, so they absorbed that. And Warner Brothers is now merging officially with, well, they were in talks. I don't know if it's official. I don't know because what's that going on. But they're merging with HBO, Max, which is now Discovery Plus, HBO, and maybe Warner Brothers that are going to be Max, under the Max streaming service.
I think what's also going to happen, and sorry to interrupt, I think what's also going to happen is TV shows that are, other streaming services are going to borrow seasons, not the entire TV show.
Well, they're doing it, Paramount Plus.
What they're doing it right now, other streaming services are going to borrow seasons, and you're going to have where, I need to watch second season of this episode of this TV show, but it's only available on Netflix. Okay, now season 3 is available on Paramount. So it's gonna be a flip-flopper.
And these streaming services, lastly on that, and with YouTube, because YouTube also offers TV, like cable TV packages, but they're like, if you're a sports person or whatever, even though you have access to the NFL network through YouTube, you can do that, for an example. Some of the games that are like on Thursday Night Football, like Amazon Prime exclusive or whatever, are blocked on other streaming services. So even if you have it, they're forcing you to get Amazon. Or like if you're, for example, a football fan for whatever, or whatever. So I'm like, at this point, I don't see streaming services surviving very long. I think it was the only reason of the rise of streaming services was because of COVID. Because there was a lot of people at home. We were all bored. We needed something to watch. And then these companies were like, you know what? Let's go ahead and test the waters with streaming services. Let's do it. Where they messed up is they didn't have enough content to launch it with to sustain it in the long run. They got greedy and they started raising the price every year, saying, it's inflation. Meanwhile, real inflation is happening, and people are now having to make financial decisions, where they're like, I'm just going to cut it and borrow it from somebody else. And if they don't want to let us borrow, then I'm just not going to watch it. But times are tough. And if you need to cut costs,
the recession is looming.
Actually, yeah, I think next year you guys, I don't think it's going to be as bad as 2008.
Yeah.
But I would say be very smart financially. And actually, that'll be on our next podcast for the great debate. So with that said, that's how we're going to end. If you have any...
Comment below how many streaming services you have.
Oh, yeah, you got to let us know.
And put an M next to the number to see if you are a moocher.
Yeah. They're not going to want to say.
Oh, come on. Let's be honest.
But anyway. anyways, yeah. So thank you for joining us on episode 9 of the Chit Chat with the fall of streaming services. And the next topic is gonna be the